Welcome back. Today we're revealing 11 incredible psychological brace. These facts about women will totally alter your perspective on the world. 97% of men are unaware of these secrets. Thus, you frequently face. Despite being rejected, you can join the select 5% who genuinely stand out. By knowing these facts, ladies, isn't limited to men having this knowledge. Knowing the truth about yourself will make you alluring and unstoppable before we begin. Do me a favor, please. If you're eager to learn these secrets, smash that like. By pressing this button, we can provide you with more potent Stoic wisdom. And if you haven't, to ensure you never miss our most recent videos, please hit the bell and subscribe button. Let's keep this entertaining. If you think there's anything we can do better, please leave a remark below. Type Z and inform us on how we might go to dive into these amazing revelations that will change your perspective on women and relationships. According to psychological facts, women fall in love. Because according to one study, if a woman finds a man's aroma pleasing, the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro says that people are more prone to fall for him, that her love for him grows by 85.5%. Women have 50% more neurons in their olfactory bulb is more sensitive than men's, allowing women to comprehend how to select the appropriate scent provides you a big edge in attracting people to stay until the conclusion of the film to determine which scents best arouse the senses. Psychological fact number 2, women like guys who are independent, taking things too far, or being forceful with a lady is likely to result in her rejection. But if you respect her while exhibiting she is more prone to make herself if she feels vulnerable or needy. Accessible, establishing trust is crucial, and it's always crucial to interpret her body and identify the signs or motions she uses to convey psychological information. Number 3, women frequently sense your presence, but may not communicate it if they feel threatened by you. Interests steer clear of making her buddy right away, since one study found that 68% of women stated that if they thought they could achieve what they wanted from a male, they would think about having a romantic relationship. This is why it is crucial to discreetly express your liking for her right away. If you have any questions, leave a remark below. Let's move on to the 4th psychological fact. Women are drawn to men who are pre-selected. Pre-election is a phenomena that shows that when a man gets 3 times more attractive when women express interest in him. Happens when a man is around by women, so I advise making. Having female friends and hanging out with them will alter the way other women view you. These female pals don't necessarily need to be attracted to you romantically. Just being there can have the impact of pre-selection, which can pique other women's curiosity and make it fact number 5. It's easier for you to connect with the woman you like. She is intrigued when a woman makes fun of you or gives you flirtatious remarks. Using playful nicknames is often an indication that she is interested in you. In order to establish trust, women frequently use their bodies to express their interests. If you're truly interested in her, I suggest toying with her words and taunting, and returning her humorous energy, for example, by saying something like, "I know you call me that. You appreciate that, so do you think I haven't seen the 6th psychological fact?" Women prefer males who recognize their nonverbal cues. Women value it when you are able to read their body language, whether intentionally or unconscious, since not all men are able to comprehend these subtle clues. In contrast to women frequently timid and afraid to publicly express their emotions, since they rejection because girls usually don't expect men to reject them. Thus, they talk to body language to show their interest. If a woman purposefully gestures to express her emotions, if you don't reciprocate, she might keep quiet and go on. If you want to know more about this intriguing, the 7th psychological truth that the psychological oracle strategy asked me in the comments, when it comes to intimate times, women are especially worried about how they seem. They prioritize looking good, especially when it comes to the style and hue of their undergarments. Instead of remaining silent, they praise her beauty through their clothing. Looks during these times, you'll see that this helps her feel more confident, will inspire her to dress more sensuously for you, increasing her excitement about seeing you again. Fact number 8 in psychology. When a man emotionally connects with a woman, having a deeper awareness of the psychological intricacies of women's. When engaging in intimate activities, women's minds can increase their happiness because they are less physically, more emotionally and intellectually stimulated than men, and they depend more on being straightforward. Try communicating subtly to get her attention first. Take your time, be physical, and encourage her to communicate her feelings and demonstrate your genuine understanding of her. This closer bond will deepen her affection for you, but women should exercise caution because it's a delicate process. Love their friends more than their partners. Some women have a deeper emotional bond with their friends than with their partners. Prefer their best friends over their boyfriends. Research indicates that when women leave their partners at home too, they feel more emotional when they see their pals because they know they won't be judged and will offer emotional support. This emotional fulfillment is sometimes confused with love. Given the possibility of emotional betrayal, it's best to keep your partner and her close friends apart. Unexpected psychological fact number 10. Some women agree to dates only because they are free. According to American studies, 38% of women have acknowledged that they accept dates in return for a supper, which emphasizes the complications of a woman's decision to accept a date before. Make sure the woman is truly interested in you before asking her out. Ask me in the comments if you're wondering how to determine whether a girl likes you. I'll give you more advice at the end of the video. Psychological fact number 11. Women want to be approached when they are sad. If you give a woman money, she will feel better if she is upset or frustrated. Give her your whole attention and demonstrate empathy to assist you comprehend her distress. Although women can occasionally be challenging to read, they are naturally gifted with the capacity. They lack men's emotional stability and are unable to experience deep emotions. And both their positive and negative feelings can be. Interestingly, some powerful women are even attracted to guys who treat them badly. I will explain this dynamic since they are stimulated by these emotional highs and lows. More in-depth later, but for now, become acquainted with the psychological games that women frequently play in view of the first psychological truth that was covered. We offer a variety of widely utilized aromatics to demonstrate how scents can attract ladies. A 2017 study called Essences examined the effects of lavender and jasmine on two groups of one group of women and two guys spent time together, with one woman wearing a smell based on jasmine and the other without these fragrances. Women's attraction in men was greatly heightened by jasmine perfumes, which are ubiquitous in popular fragrances, like the popular French Orphan and Pas Basque Eclectic. Thank you for viewing the entire video. Kindly hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment on the contradictory tales that underlie each. Can you tell if a smile is real or just a mask? Every smile has a backstory. Watch out for people whose stories are constantly changing because far-off narratives frequently show a facade that people have trouble keeping up. And like chameleons, they adapt their stories to fit the situation. Over time, the audience or circumstance may drastically change their tales as they either forge new narratives that better suit their objectives or forget specifics of their fabrications. Being inconsistent isn't always an accident. It's frequently a calculated tactic meant to influence or impress people. Unreliable accounts show a lack of sincerity. Real people with real experiences may forget small details, but their life narratives never change. Conversely, dishonest people frequently become entangled in their own web of lies. Having trouble tracking down their lies, this behavior can harm both personal and relationships in the workplace, since trust is damaged when someone is known to be untrue statements in work environments and cause a poisonous environment in which superiors cannot make decisions and coworkers cannot rely on one another, making wise choices. Recognizing such individuals necessitates paying careful attention to what they say. Eventually, patterns of inconsistent behavior will show up, and although this alertness isn't about being paranoid, it's necessary to safeguard yourself against deceit or deception. Ask for clarification when unsure, as people frequently give misleading information. The story will have difficulty sustaining the surface-level facade under investigation. Relationship breadth is frequently preferred over depth by connection-faking individuals. Their interactions focus less on true affection and respect for one another and more on what others may offer. Meaningful friendships are rarely formed by superficial encounters. Even though they may know many people rely on superficial interactions, like name-calling to build their connections. In job titles, they steer clear of in-depth discussions without any deeper emotional connection.
Discussions about aspirations, desires, or personal hardships, these self centered exchanges only to improve one's professional standing, social standing, or other benefit seeking people frequently switch across social circles. The most beneficial linkages in doing so, they neglect the actual worth of strong, meaningful bonds that can offer solace during trying times and happiness in rich ones. Those who associate with phony people frequently experience misused and undervalued, creating a life of loneliness devoid of true friendship to spot shallowness, look for trends in the way. When people talk about their relationships, do they limit their conversation to what other people can do for them, or do they constantly swap overconfidence in social circles is also a warning sign, particularly in professional contexts since it may conceal information or foster a false sense of trust. People with genuine motives may see interactions as merely transactional, rather than mutually beneficial, and frequently use flattery to win favor or divert attention. From their lack of proficiency or dedication, in contrast to sincere, and specific, compliments are offered without reservation and are centered on real achievements or attributes. Expectation, being able to discern between genuine compliments and genuine praise, is essential in determining who might be attempting to deceive lack of empathy. Another characteristic of dishonest people is their incapacity to. A hollow heart cannot genuinely empathize with others who lack. Empathy frequently shows a lack of concern for the needs and feelings of others, concentrating only on own wants, and this emotional detachment is a serious warning sign in both personal and professional relationship problems in the workplace, with empathy and appreciating others. People with little empathy may disregard the emotional health of those who are successful. This lack of empathy around them, or, in more severe situations, neglect to offer assistance, can result in harmful or manipulative acts because such people ignore. Considering how their activities affect other people, this tendency is especially detrimental in both personal and professional contexts. Partnerships that prevent the development of profoundly meaningful connections. One-sided interactions could consequence in which a person's needs and feelings are consistently disregarded or unappreciated at work. A lack of empathy can foster a hostile atmosphere. Recognizing a lack of appreciation and miscommunication among coworkers, empathy necessitates monitoring how individuals respond in different contexts and whether they exhibit sincere worry about how they may honor others' accomplishments without making it about them when they are unhappy or anxious. Do they themselves show tolerance and understanding when faced with challenging situations? By responding to these, asking someone whether they lack empathy, which is an essential part of good relationships, can aid. Strings of manipulative behavior are for puppets, not human impersonators commonly use deception to influence others for their own benefit. Ignoring the feelings and welfare of those in their immediate vicinity, this manipulative, the intentional use of conduct to manipulate or persuade others to accomplish one's own objectives, can take various ways, ranging from subtly influencing feelings to outright. Such exploitation is essentially self-serving and demonstrates a total lack of respect for the autonomy of others. Manipulators frequently possess a thorough understanding of human psychology and take advantage of this knowledge by using guilt, charm, coercion, or deceit. This manipulation is especially risky because it frequently goes unreported until victims have suffered serious injury, may experience guilt, confusion, or even hold the manipulator accountable for their partnerships. Manipulation of behavior can produce toxic dynamics that result in a diminished sense of self-worth and autonomy. In identifying and dealing with manipulative behavior is crucial to establishing healthy, respectful relationships in both personal and professional contexts. Partnerships, knowing these strategies and taking precautions, can help avoid the detrimental impact of manipulation and cultivate relationships founded on sincerity and respect. Fair-weather colleagues or friends. The fakes get into the game are people who only appear in good times and vanish in bad times. Strikes this trend of being absent a lot at trying times. It's obvious these people are a sign of unreliability since they celebrate achievement too soon, yet they are. The harm caused by their conspicuous absence when their support is actually needed. Conduct is not just their lack of presence during difficult moments, but also the fabrication of a false sense of reliability. Their lack of it can make friends, family, and coworkers feel abandoned.
When partnerships are not nurtured, it can result in emotions of betrayal and loneliness. However, it might interfere with team dynamics and impede efforts to identify such people in professional situations. Calls for constant observation. It's critical to identify who is still faithful and dependable in trying times, as genuine dependability is shown via hardship rather than through shattered ease. False promises are like a fortress constructed on sand. Individuals frequently make promises but seldom follow through, and this propensity to breach commitments demonstrates a lack of honesty and reliability. Making a promise is fundamentally a commitment, and violating it shows disdain for oneself as much as the recipient. Erodes trust and has the potential to seriously harm relationships, whether they be personal or professionals that break their commitments, cause dissatisfaction. And when this behavior loses credibility and respect in human relationships when it becomes persistent connections, which can lead to emotional pain and create a being unsure and uneasy in work environments, damages one's reputation, and can risk career chances while working with individuals who have a history of breaking commitments. It is crucial to identify setting clear guidelines and limits, making them answerable for their promises, and safeguarding oneself from the potentially harmful effects of unreliability must also be considered, which frequently entails avoiding reliance on promises, overzealous self-promotion, and a spotlight that never false dims are frequently self-centered and incessantly look for attention in order to often overestimate their accomplishments. This excessive self-promotion is a result of a strong desire to, in order to gain approval and recognition, these people frequently manipulate circumstances to maintain the ignore the accomplishments or contributions of others in favor of themselves. Some people want to be admired more than confident. They frequently exhibit an exaggerated feeling of self rather than true confidence or a strong sense of significance and feel they need ongoing acknowledgement and appreciation for this. In both personal and professional contexts, behavior can be upsetting, and maintaining balance in personal relationships may be inadequate if one individual's requirements and achievements continuously trump those of everyone else. In the excessive self-promotion at work can undermine productivity and create a toxic environment. Cooperation and coordination when one person tries to make an impression at all costs, and identifying excessive self-promotion calls for careful attention. How do people describe themselves and their achievements? Do they constantly rule? Do these patterns appear more successful or substantial when they exaggerate or invent details in conversations? Inauthenticity and borderline self-promotional behavior could be signs of trust issues. Trusting your gut feelings is a useful method for identifying. Authenticity is frequently detected by our instincts before our intellect do. Justify it by saying that minor clues and inconsistency may cause an intuitive feeling, despite our conscious mind's attempts to deny or explain it. It's critical to keep in mind that prejudices and prior experiences do not always replace instincts, can affect them. Therefore, although it's advisable to follow your instincts, they must be. If your gut tells you that someone is dishonest, take action. This should be matched by observation and logical analysis. Return, study their actions impartially, and search for trends and proof that confirm or refute your first instincts. Unreliable instincts can cause us to err, particularly in intricate social contexts when our prejudices and preconceptions are important for the development of self-awareness. And being aware of these biases might improve and facilitate your ability to trust your. Finally, intuition is a helpful instrument for figuring out the genuineness of people in our immediate vicinity, but they should be utilized in conjunction with cautious consideration and observation, which allows us to have a more accurate and sophisticated comprehension of the people we come into contact with, which enables us to create truly significant understanding. Inauthenticity non-relationships is essential as we traverse the understanding. The intricacies of human relationships is necessary for sincere interactions and wisdom, and we have examined crucial traits that disclose the actual character of those around us. From contradictions in their accounts to the trustworthiness of their promises, Each sign acts as a road marker on this expedition, but the search is far from over. Our channel's goal is to help you comprehend human behavior better, connections with a community that emphasizes authenticity and personal growth. If you found these thoughts useful, please like and subscribe for more. More insightful material, leave your ideas and experiences in the comments section. Your narrative below might serve as a lighthouse guiding others to clarity. Let's get to work. Remember that your intuition is your compass and that you are willing to work with others to create a more genuine environment. The secret to a successful relationship is learning. Every click, share, and subscription helps. We can reach more individuals and disseminate information that could transform lives by overcoming obstacles with resiliency. But regrettably, jealousy and sadism are prevalent tendencies that might inhibit personal development in a variety of contexts, such as the workplace social circles as well as families. Therefore, learning to hide your flaws might make you become a tree that endures a storm with its trunk standing firm in its leaves. This artwork, with its flutter and swaying trees, symbolizes silent resilience. Talk about how you can show that you are unaffected by internal or external factors to get even more influence. Problems. Every obstacle is a chance to learn from the tree, not to ignore it. The storm, but by refusing to be depressed by the wind or rain, you will learn how to control your fate while staying composed and strong in this video. I also recommend you to study the 17 Stoic precepts of the famous philosopher Epictetus. You should accept self-awareness, where real strength comes from the path's subtle illumination, rather than in the upcoming minutes. Ignore the daily noise and concentrate on the content. Distractions. The first rule is to anticipate failure, and the only way to advance is to Epictetus claims that attempting the impossible and being called a fool is not an opportunity for development rather than something to shun. It enables you to overcoming obstacles to progress professionally takes time and trial and error. It's not an instantaneous response. Through consistent work, we can improve our road to excellence. The second key is to always remember this guideline, which reminds us that death is inevitable, does not promote pessimism. Since death is where all of our acts ultimately lead, with this knowledge, we might reevaluate if it's worth investing years of our meager life money in something that won't accompany us. Adopting this viewpoint improves how we manage our time and see failures. The third rule, in a more practical sense, is to listen twice as you say, nature purposefully provided us two ears and one mouth in this form. Says that we should listen more than we speak, but Epictetus says that we shouldn't. Instead of falling in love with our own voices, we should start learning from others' voices and making more money right now. Pay more attention to what people around you are saying and less to what you are saying. The fourth rule is always being ready for the worst, and anticipating adverse events can result in substantial tension as we fret about a number of possible issues, whether they concern our kids. When it comes to income, relationships, or careers, Epictetus suggests a severe, however, a useful strategy is to think that everything you're scared of has already occurred. This way of thinking lessens reducing anxiety by confronting the worst-case scenarios head-on with the fifth rule coping mechanisms. As you proceed, keep in mind that fortune's dangers. The risk of attracting those who might exploit our good fortune is often present when we pursue wealth. Comes from both internal and external sources. So create plans to deal with these difficulties while maintaining your composure while navigating difficulties and accepting guilt and stoicism as well as its consequences. The sixth rule states that guilt can poison our souls like the plague and has to do with being narrow-minded. Common people tend to blame themselves or others, but the wise view everything more broadly, as contemporary therapists do with regard to guilt. The secret to conquering guilt is to eliminate it from our lives. Resist it, since giving into it frequently results in blaming either ourselves or others, thereby evading accountability for fixing errors. Only those who are resolute can escape responsibility while real riches and taking ownership of their actions. The seventh guideline is that true prosperity is found in a contented spirit. Epictetus use Stoicism to explain happiness, highlighting the fact that a knowledgeable individual enjoys what they have and is not concerned about what they lack. Worrying about what is lacking just weighs us down and keeps us from focusing on thankfulness and recognizing our achievements. Beyond material possessions, we discover true contentment in what we have accomplished. Has the ability to acquire humility in order to learn the eighth rule. To properly learn, one must be humble every day, as Epictetus teaches us. Our lack of knowledge and approach education with a child's wonder and curiosity.
Claiming to be knowledgeable keeps us from embracing true insight. We can develop and learn more skillfully through humility. Fate. The ninth guideline is to keep in mind that your fate is determined by your responses. Although external circumstances are beyond our control, we do have power over how we react to them. Even when bad things happen to us, how we handle them defines how successful and mature we become. Less important than the constructive way we respond to it, partnerships. The 10th guideline is to associate with good people only. Given our innate tendency to avoid other people's disease, we should likewise be wary of negative. According to Epictetus, we should surround ourselves with positive, inspiring people. This decision has an effect on our general well-being and mental health. Making a substantial investment in simplicity is the 11th rule. Despite the allure of luxury and prosperity, simplicity frequently results in stress, and simply said, maintenance living helps preserve inner serenity and riches while relieving the strain of financial obligations. Demands consistent work, but a simple life can yield more, peacefully carrying out your responsibilities with diligence. The 12th rule is to constantly do your job as the sun rises every day. We don't need appreciation for it. Accomplish our obligations without expecting to be acknowledged for the work we do. Essential to others as well as to ourselves, and carrying it out faithfully, is our moral duty to release unmanageable elements. The 13th rule is to cease worrying about things that are out of your control. We can manage our thoughts, but not our success or reputation. Epictetus suggests concentrating instead of wasting time worrying about uncontrollable events, avoiding hate and focusing on ideals that we can control while letting fate take care of the rest. The 14th guideline is to disregard those who criticize and dislike you instead of disliking those who criticize you, because they understand how greater strength and importance than their negativity. Therefore, don't waste your efforts on. Instead of harboring animosity or bitterness, rise above the criticism and keep your attention on. What really counts is adopting Stoic wisdom for a tough existence. While disregarding negativity ignores the negativity of people who hate you, which is the 14th rule. Does not merit consideration. We should not be afraid of those who seek to hurt us. We can choose to disregard their attempts to establish immunity against such forces because they are just noise. Enhances our resilience by drawing benefits from. Despite hardship, the 15th guideline is to always see the positive side of things. According to Epictetus, it is our responsibility to seize the chances that adversity presents, such as if you are told that you will be dismissed. Instead of giving up, take advantage of the opportunity to pursue your dream of becoming an entrepreneur by looking for the good in every circumstance. You will get momentum that will help you advance in recognizing that the 16th law of life is to maintain control over your reactions. Allowing other people's opinions and attitudes to influence you gives them authority over your life. We have numerous keys inside of us, but only if you allow them to become your master. Some of us bring happiness, while others cause us to lose our emotional stability. Control to create a shield that protects you from the harmful effects of others. A person is accountable for their own words and deeds, and they value sincere friendships are more valuable than money, according to the 17th rule. Since they provide support when tangible fortunes collapse by fostering sincere friendships, true friends are a type of wealth. Creating friendships is an important long-term investment that will improve your Stoic ideals are applied in life to guide us. The timeless wisdom of Epictetus helps us navigate life's obstacles with grace and purpose. I hope it provides priceless insights for living a robust and fulfilling life. I'd love to know which of his guidelines most resonated with you after reading this incisive analysis. If you have any opinions or personal experiences to contribute, please leave a comment below. Read them all, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and encourage our development and to acquire more insightful material. Don't forget to hit thank you for viewing, and don't forget to use these guidelines every day for a more sustainable future. Journey that is resilient and fulfilling.